Now, the great thing about Episode 9 so far is the fact that J.J. Abrams is going to be inserting a lot of Jedi and Sith lore into this movie in order to really make fans understand the ancient ways of the Jedi and the Sith in Episode 9. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, that's one thing that I'm really excited to see in this movie is exactly how JJ is going to utilize the Jedi and Sith ancient lore, and of course, the whole entire aspect and idea of the ancient Sith and the ancient Jedi in Episode 9. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which has all to do with Rey, the Lost City, and the Prime Jedi. Specifically, a description of Rey walking through the Lost City with R2-D2 in the ancient Jedi runes. It's described that she comes across a large statue in a crouched position that is dubbed as the Prime Jedi. It's described that Rey recognizes this figure from her time on Ahch-To. The statue is said to be wielding what is said to be the sculpture of the first Jedi lightsaber that was ever developed. The next goes over Rey touching the statue, where it's said that Rey feels a strange presence that guides her to go in a certain path through the runes of the ancient Jedi. In front of the statue, another book is discovered by Rey dubbed as the Book of the Prime, in which she collects and stores in her backpack. In order to gain more knowledge, the Prime Jedi is said to have been in one of the ones who developed the guidelines of the Jedi Order after the first Jedi created the Order himself. So I want to go over a couple of parts about this. Now, one thing that we do know about the Prime Jedi is that it makes a brief appearance in, of course, The Last Jedi. You guys may have recognized that Last Jedi mosaic on the very, ground of the actual First Jedi Temple. You guys may have seen that, the Prime Jedi mosaic. It's a very interesting aspect of the Star Wars lore that we've never really got to learn too much about, other than the brief, information that we got in the Last Jedi Visual Dictionary. So, the Lost City, what's great about this is that so far as we know, the Jedi section is going to consist of statues of the First Jedi and, of course, the Prime Jedi, and the Sith location has a ton of statues, two of which are, of course, the Forbidden Jedi, and the other one is, of course, the First Sith. So you can really see how J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio are really trying to dive into something around the lines, I would have to say, of Indiana Jones mixed with Star Wars. And it kind of makes sense because we do know that Lucasfilm, is a part of Indiana Jones, and you can really see where they're trying to going with this in Episode 9. So the next thing that I do want to go over involving the Prime Jedi himself is how the statue is described to be in a crouched position, and that it's wielding what is described as a sculpture of the first lightsaber to actually ever been developed in existence. So, apart from this, the first Jedi actually did have a first lightsaber that was actually described to be an inactive one. That one that could not be ignited, essentially. We saw this in the Force Awakens art book. We got a little glimpse of that, and that's going to be explored more in Episode 9. So the Prime Jedi, what's really intriguing about this character, even though it's just a statue, is that the Prime Jedi is actually said to be an actual ancient Jedi who came up with the guidelines of the Jedi Order in the ancient Jedi books. And this book that Rey is holding is actually dubbed as the Book of the Prime, which she stores in her backpack. Now, that's going to be one of her unique outfits in this movie, is that she's going to have this black cloak with a large backpack that she carries in order to store a lot of Jedi relics, artifacts, and, of course, books, in order to really create a new Jedi Order based on the ancient knowledge, which is said to be the sacred knowledge of the Jedi and the right path to go. Now, with that being said, we do know that Rey is also going to be learning from the books that she took from Ahch-To, alright, within the Tree Library. We do know that she's going to learn a lot about the ancient ways of the Jedi in those books, and that's another great thing as well, is that J.J. Abrams will be exploring that aspect of Star Wars as well. So, what I like so much about The Lost City is that, like I say, this was an original concept that was supposed to be in Episode 7. It did not make it to the final cut, sadly. And now J.J. Abrams is going to re-explore that idea and bring it to life in Episode 9 in order to explain, those four main things. The First Jedi, the First Sith, the Forbidden Jedi, and now the Prime Jedi. Now, the Prime Jedi interests me the most because, well, we got a little tease of him in Star Wars Episode 8. In the First Jedi Temple. We didn't really learn too much about him. I found it very strange, though, that when Luke Skywalker reconnected himself with the Force, and he's reconnecting with Leia, it does focus on the Prime Jedi mosaic as it starts to vibrate, and you can see the water kind of rippling on top of that. I think something's going on with that mosaic, and I think that there is some kind of significance here of Rey's discovery of the Prime Jedi in the Lost City. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.